Hello, my name is Suggs from Madness, and much later I shall be taking you through the entirety of the evening, indeed night, playing you songs and showing you videos that I love. But first off, to whet your appetite, to wash down your cornflakes, here's an hour of my kind of thing. What a lovely breakfast time song, I should say this is. Bob Marley and the Wailers. I've been a huge fan of his since he started, really. I remember as a kid, certain things happened where you'd be talking about it in the playground the next day, and one of them was the first appearance of Bob Marley and the Wailers on British television. It was on a funny old programme called The Old Grey Whistle Test, which was quite a sort of boring, of a farty, old-fashioned-y kind of programme. And it just looked like these characters had literally arrived from outer space. And I remember it was, you know, he was so long, he was so young, he didn't even really have dreadlocks, he just had tiny little ones starting at that point. But this is one of his more popular, I mean, in the truest sense of the word, songs, but I really like it. It cheers me up, and I remember my kids used to like it when they were growing up, and it is Bob Marley and Three Little Birds. Every now and then, music and imagery come together to create perfect harmony. I'm talking, of course, about Massive Attack's video for Unfinished Sympathy. Great song, absolutely sensational. I remember very vividly the first time I heard it. Shara Nelson, great vocal, great strings. The story that went around with the orchestration was that they wanted real strings, and they ran out of money, so one of the band had to sell his BMW car to pay to put the strings on, and I'm glad he did, because they sound great. And then a really simple idea for the video itself, but works perfectly with the song, and is the perfect combination for me. It is Massive Attack's Unfinished Sympathy. I'm a big fan of the Chemical Brothers. I think they push things musically very interestingly, and for someone who's not really mad about pure dance music, I think they give you enough interest and diversity, and I think they're very clever with what they do visually as well. This is the Chemical Brothers and Midnight Madness. Hi there, I am Suggs from Madness, and you're watching Rage. Well, I hope you enjoyed that half as much as I did. If you did, please join me this evening. I'll take you through the entire night. My kind of world, my kind of music, my kind of people. In the meantime, I'd like to leave you with one of my own videos. The Clash, one of my all-time favourite bands. Yes, I was very fortunate as a young man to have been in London when punk was starting. I mean, I was about 15 or 16. I used to go to a club called the Roxy in Covent Garden, and I saw the Clash play on a number of occasions. Yeah, really can't explain how exciting that time was, and the feeling that anything was possible, especially if you were young. Because up to that point, all the bands were kind of pretty dinosaur-like, playing solos that went on for days and wearing capes and crowns and stuff. And suddenly all these young kids were making music that only lasted 2 or 3 minutes, and yeah, and you felt like you could join in because you didn't need to be a virtuoso. But I think this is them kind of at their peak, yeah. This is Rock the Casbah, The Clash. Hello, my name is Suggs from Madness, and you're watching Rage. It's interesting when you're thinking about picking these videos, because obviously some of it is for the history of the music itself and attachment I have to it, and sometimes it's just for the visuals themselves, and always made the most exciting videos, and this one in particular, The Beaten Generation, I think you'll agree. As a band, we had a lot of fun making music, and probably even more fun making the videos. The time that we started making music was very exciting because it was really the first time anyone had made pop videos. So the whole thing was completely wide open as to what you could do ideas-wise and dressing up-wise. And luckily, everyone in the band was pretty extrovert, so we were the right people at the right time, at the right place. And there's this fantastic, like a proper theatrical costumiers down the end of the road where I lived, called Berman and Nathan's. Really old, like, traditional kind of theatrical place. And you weren't really allowed to borrow stuff unless you were doing a proper theatrical production. But because the guy liked us there, he used to let us borrow stuff. So it was just like being in a sort of Alice in Wonderland treasure trove of outfits. So, you know what I mean? You could be Lawrence of Arabia, you could be a real policeman in a real policeman's outfit, which we did and had a lot of fun with. I remember going in a rehearsal room once with a lot of punk bands all dressed as coppers, and I just remember hearing a lot of toilets flushing for some reason. And this particular video, House of Fun, I think epitomises a lot of what we were trying to do, which was slightly psychedelic, kind of messing about in costumes. This is madness and House of Fun.